Let's talk about some storylines that you're focused on this season, Jack. What are some of the storylines you're looking to play out um, this season with the 49ers?
Well, the one we just got talking about,
Yeah,
I think is the
that's the
biggest one,
biggest
right?
one.
The quarterback situation, I think, is really the biggest storyline of the whole thing. Is does Garoppolo stay healthy the whole way, and if he does he play? Is he the starter the entire season? I think that's a huge storyline around the team. That's really going to tell you a lot about their success or failures during it. Um, some other ones I think is going to be the defensive line. Are these guys able to carry the defense uh, and really make any questions that anybody might have on the back end null and void because they just get after the quarterback so well. So, does Nick Bosa return to where he was pre-injury? Is D Ford giving you what you got in 2019 because he only played the one, didn't play much last season.
hmm
Uh, I think those are two really big storylines.
Yeah, and I think on the defensive line too, Javon Kinlaw, is he going to make the jump that we need to see from him?
Mm-hmm.
Being a high draft round pick, and also Ebicom, and Armstead. What are they going to be able to do? Coming off of, I mean, Armstead coming
That's a good
off
one.
of, maybe not the best season, last season, and Ebicom obviously being somebody who could really help contain the quarterback. So there's a lot going on that defensive line. The thing that I'm really looking forward to is to see how big of a addition Alex Mack's going to be. I think that
Mm-hmm.
offensive line needs to be stellar, especially with Jimmy Garoppolo back there, just because we know his injury history and his mobility limitations. And obviously, that running game needs to get back to the top three. And I think a lot of that is going to do with how good Alex Mack can actually make that offensive line with his leadership and his calls. So a lot of people are looking at him as he may be over the hill, but if he could play at anywhere close to that All-Pro level that he's shown in Atlanta, I think that's
Mm-hmm.
a big storyline as well for the 49ers.
Yeah, that's a really good one. That's one that I didn't really hit on the offensive line, but yeah, Alex Mack, if he can come out and be anywhere near what he was the last few years, and even the last few years in Atlanta, or close, back when he was in 2016, I don't think we're going to see that, but he's gonna add some stability to the offensive line. I think that they sorely missed last year, so I think that's a big one right there. Is Alex Mack, and that kind of leads you into is Daniel Brunskill going to be able to stand up and be your starting right guard for the entire season?
Right.
Because right at this point, I think he's probably the weakest link on the offensive line.
Yeah, and I mean, luckily he's gonna be if McGlinchey, plays to the level that we know he's capable of, and with Alex Mack there on the other side of him, it may be an opportunity where they could both help elevate his game because we've
Mm-hmm.
seen Brunskill play well. It's really just about whether or not he could keep that consistency as a 17 game starter versus somebody that's just been coming in spot duty kind of like whatever you get out of them is a bonus versus now expectations of you're the starter. We need you to just focus on making sure nobody gets through at this right guard position. So that's
Mm-hmm.
interesting as well. One other thing I'm really looking forward to is seeing how these rookies step up. I really feel like Sermon, Lenore, Hafunga are going to be playing some big roles for the team, and
Mm-hmm.
seeing how well they could plug in, and if they could be productive players, or are they going to have those rookie mistakes that kind of show throughout the season. So a lot of things to be excited about.
Yeah, and Hufanga is a guy who I see as going to be starting at some point this year in the secondary for the 49ers. He's
Mm-hmm.
going to be starting in place of Ward or Tart at some point this year. I'd almost bet money on that.
Right. I mean, obviously with their injury woes, and then I think the next thing is just kind of just the linebackers overall. Obviously that has been somewhere where people have thought maybe a little bit thin after Dre Greenlaw and obviously Fred Warner. So seeing how those guys hold up, is Fred going to play to the level that we know he's capable of now that he's gotten paid? So a lot of excitement there, and then obviously for me, what D'Amico Ryans brings to that defense. a lot of people are looking for a drop off, but I really believe that he's going to actually enhance that defense, especially with everybody coming back and the additions that they made. I think is a pretty exciting storyline as well.
Yeah, I definitely. This is going to be a fun team to watch. I think they're going to be successful. I don't know if they're going to win the Super Bowl, but I think it's going to be a really fun year.
They're highly rated. A lot of the national media are putting them in the playoffs for sure, and based off of what side of the bracket they get on, a team that could really make a run. And so to see that even before everybody knows who the quarterback is shows the strength of the team all around. So it's going to be interesting to see. Hopefully they live up to expectations, because that is something that they haven't done 4 out of 5 years. So go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, no, I mean, I could see this would be fantastic to see them, come out, and I think they have a really good shot at winning at being the number 1 seed in the NFC. And, how great would it be to watch them get the number 1 seed and then host the NFC Championship game against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at Levi Stadium against Tom Brady? That would be a fantastic game that I think everybody needs to see.
If that does go down, who's the quarterback?
Tom Brady.
No, for
I know. I wasn't going to answer your question. I was being smart with you. No, it's probably. I mean, it's probably Jimmy Garoppolo.
Really? So you think Trey Lance doesn't see the field this year as far as a starter?
As far as the starter goes, well, he's got to, again, unless Garoppolo gets hurt or plays really bad, I don't think that they're going to replace a quarterback if the team's winning and he's playing okay. If he's playing at the level he played in 2019, I don't think they replace him.
Interesting.
He wasn't that bad in 2019. I mean, really, he wasn't.
Yeah, I mean, there was games. People forget the New Orleans games where he took that team, put it on his back, and won that game basically. And there's so many like late game heroics that he had, 2-minute drill that they came out and won that season. He's a capable guy. It's just we know what we get from Jimmy, and I guess maybe that's what Kyle Shanahan is looking for, knowing the depth and the talent of the team around him. Maybe he just knows what he's going to get from Jimmy versus Trey, where he doesn't know or doesn't trust, or maybe feels maybe a year in the system, Trey comes out next season and does better.